Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
There it is. The epic introduction to every Star Wars Rebels after show here at AfterBuzz TV. Hi everybody, welcome to the Star Wars Rebels after show, Season 2, Episode 4, Brothers of the Broken Horn. If you guys have not done so already, please be sure to go over to iTunes, subscribe, leave us reviews, rate us 5 stars if you like us. So far everyone has rated us 5 stars, which has been lovely. So thank you so much, you guys. Also, if you are listening on iTunes, remember you can always go over to YouTube as well and check out our video feeds. We do stream live when we tape on Wednesday nights, and be sure to leave us a thumb up, single thumb, yeah. And let us know what you think in the comments. We do have the live chat up, so we will be following along with that tonight, as well as following that hashtag on Twitter, ABTV Rebels, if you guys want to participate in the conversation that way. I am Emma Fyffe. You can follow me all over social media at Emma Fyffe. That's my name. I am joined by a fabulous panel this evening, including Katie Cullen, seated right next to me.
Hello, my buddies. I am back. You can find me on Twitter at Kiaxet, Kiaxet.
The fabulous Megan Salinas.
Hey, everybody. You guys can tweet at me at the Menguin. That's TheManguin.
And a very special guest star this evening, the legend, Hondo Ohnaka himself, Jim Cummings.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? Apparently, you should follow me on Jim Cummings Act Me.
Yeah, that is your Twitter.
Yeah,
you tweeted about this earlier.
Yeah, and I did, and I think I spelled it right and everything. Hi, large hi, hello.
So, I want to ask you, Jim, had you seen the episode before we watched it all together tonight?
No.
So what were your first impressions, having worked on this episode, you know, from a behind-the-scenes standpoint, having just done the voice for it and not seeing it animated?
Well, not unlike myself, I could tell that Hondo's gotten a little older and his glasses have gotten a little thicker. But some of his tusks, did you see his tusks?
I know, his tusks.
I thought it was kind of groovy.
How his tusks
whatever
had,
that means.
grown.
Yeah. I mean, I was surprised. I thought he was happy to see us.
Yeah,
and it was very cool. I mean, I'm just so glad that Hondo's back. He was one of my favorite almost bad guys.
Yeah,
and he's greased and ready to kick butt.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was interesting to me seeing Hondo in Rebels versus in Clone Wars, because I felt like in Clone Wars he was. I mean, and granted, he evolved over the course of Clone Wars so that by the end, he was more of an almost bad guy, whereas initially he swung pretty hard to the bad guy side of almost bad guy.
Yeah, he's a guy, you don't want to, you're not going to take your kid to the Hondo Ohnaka daycare school. And you're definitely not going to, play poker with him. But on the other hand, he's not the kind of bad guy that'll do something undermine you and stab you in the back. But on the other hand, there's a lot of hands.
Yeah.
And I love the guy, actually. So he's a lovable rogue.
Absolutely, yeah. But he's always going to do what's best for Hondo.
Pretty much.
Bit of a scallywag.
And I think one of his charms is that you don't really hate him for it in the end.
No.
I don't have a penny to my name. He's not a bad guy, though, huh?
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, can you leave me $5 for cab fare home or something? Uber.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Space Uber.
But I love him. Yeah, Space Uber.
Do they just have that as like an app on? It's like on the.
I mean, well, Hera had an iPad.
That is true. We have seen Hera basically use an iPad before, so maybe that does have the Space Uber app on it. Katie, Megan, what do you guys think of the episode?
I'm still not quite sure what I watched, but I really enjoyed it.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'm waiting to hear the amazingness.
I thought this was a very welcome episode, given how dark last week was. On the one hand, it's kind of a little bit of stalled momentum because I do have a lot of questions about what's going on with the Inquisitors.
Of course.
But at the same time, it's like, you know what? I needed a breather. This is fine. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I thought it was especially fun, and I mentioned this earlier, actually, right before we went on air. It was really fun to see the character of Hondo in the Star Wars Rebels kind of tone rather than in Clone Wars, because Clone Wars overall is a lot more serious. Yeah, it's a lot darker. It's a lot more heavy-handed on the history and the war, and so it was really cool to I felt that Rebels really played to Hondo's strengths, and we got to see a lot more of that kind of roguish, lovable side
little
of him.
Swagger there. Nobody expects Hondo after the Inquisitors. So we threw him a little curveball.
Exactly.
What the hell? Hondo? What? Who now? Who's he? Who's lost money now? Well, apparently Vizago.
Vizago. Yeah. Things were not going well for Vizago in this episode.
That's true.
Now, you were making comments that a couple of things were improvised. Like, what was in the script and what was from you that they kept?
Well, all of it. The bit about. Now, I don't want to spoil anything. You guys have seen it.
Oh, no, the assumption is that they've seen it.
You guys, okay, good.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the bit about, something about the ugly thing. Well, let's leave your wife out of this.
Oh, yes.
That was amazing.
Hold on, I wrote down what the actual quote was. Let me find it.
What was it? Yeah. And then it's something, and I love it when they let me play, and Dave Filoni is really good at that. So is my close personal friend, George Lucas. He said to me, who are you?
It was as Morgan described him as being a washed-up old relic, and he said, let's leave your wife out of this.
Yes, exactly. Right. Well, there you go. See, he proved him wrong with a rapier-like wit.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, he proved that, like, he still got it.
Yeah, he does. Yes, he does.
I just love how Hondo adapts to any situation he finds himself in, like at the end of the episode when Chopper had put the Phantom on autopilot, and so they ended up back on the Ghost, and he's like, man, let me tell you about how great Ezra was.
It's like improv comedian levels of rolling with the punches. You just have to go.
I picture him walking off and going, gather round, friends, I shall tell you a tale.
Yes.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale, the tale of a fateful trip.
I mean, and he said to Ezra, oh man, the stories I could tell you, some of which are true.
That was amazing.
Exactly right. Yeah, well, that was another one too. And I'd like to have seen his face when he started off and thought he was going to go home and take all the all the booty back home, and then wait, I can't steer the oh crap. So no problem. I'll just. Let me tell you, and then we're off to the races. And next thing you know, he's sitting around the campfire, and he's got to telling everybody ghost stories. And here's my close personal friend, Ezra. And, well, more to come. I think.
Cannot wait.
I know.
But there's a chip in my head that would explode
if you were to reveal any details. Of course, so, absolutely.
It's one of those.
Disney has the chip, Hasbro has the hanging anvils.
Yep.
Yes, that's right.
So basically, the plot of this episode revolves around the fact that Ezra doesn't want to do chores. I mean, it starts with
I
Ezra.
can understand that.
Exactly. I mean, nobody really wants to. Ezra especially, because he's going through an extreme moody teenager moment at the beginning of this episode, where he claims he doesn't want to be a soldier or a Jedi, and he doesn't want to scrub anything.
I'm on his side.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm on his side because Dad and Dad are fighting, and they're definitely pulling him between them. Like, you should be a Jedi, you should be a soldier. No, and it's their issues that they haven't worked out projected onto son. So it really is the parents are fighting, and he's stuck in the middle of it.
And all he wants is a girlfriend. I don't know.
Well,
maybe could be.
Could be.
That's so wrong.
They briefly explored a plot line where he had a thing for Sabine, but that seems to have been abandoned.
Seems to have gotten on the
Happily
back
shut
burner.
down.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm with Ezra on this one. Oh, we finally get a break from it. Nope, not you. You have to scrub things.
Yeah.
Because all of the adults in your life want you to accomplish different things at the same time. Good luck. Like,
That's right. Well, you do want him to get into a good college.
Absolutely, yeah.
But is it Jedi college or soldier college?
Yes.
That's the question.
Those are really different, man.
Jedi school is expensive.
Jedi school is expensive, but he gets a full ride. He's a legacy.
Fair enough. There you go.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely. So basically, Ezra receives a distress signal from who he thinks is Vizago and decides to go with Chopper to check it out. And again, we get sort of a horror movie opening, which is sort of a common theme that I'm seeing in Rebels this season.
They keep going to weird derelict ships with for me, the robots, the droids on the ship felt very much like, did anybody see the Disney movie Black Hole?
No.
See, I was thinking
dozens
Castle
of people
in the
from what
Sky.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Castle in the Sky
yeah.
and The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yeah.
Yeah, Klaatu Barada Nikto.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Nikto, yep.
Yeah, they were these very imposing looking droids that were on this ship that were Vizago's droids that Hondo managed to be able to control.
Just could have happened. Yeah, it was just, the controller was sitting around. Nobody was doing anything with it. I know what to do with this.
Universal Remote. I was just trying to watch Netflix.
That's true. Universal Remote. Exactly.
And let's be real, even if he didn't know what to do with it, as we've seen throughout this episode, as long as it came into his possession, he'd figure it out.
Oh, yeah.
Which he did, though he claims that he won the droids and the ship in a gamble.
Well, that's because he came up against someone who knew who Vizago was and was surprised to see someone else on his ship.
Yeah.
Mutual friend.
Exactly.
Well, technically, his whole life is a gamble.
This is true.
So he was kind of right.
Yeah.
He gambled on the fact that he wouldn't get shot trying to do it. And it paid off, and now he's got this great ship, almost, and has a lot of... actually, he doesn't have the power generators, but he's got... am I crazy, or did he make off with all the credits and everything? I mean,
he did make off with all the credits,
a box of, I don't know, Lorna Doones in there or something, but it's a good thing. Yeah, we're not worried about Hondo. He's going to land on his feet.
Yeah, I think he is too.
Or his tusks, or whatever. I don't know.
Whatever. He'll be fine as long as he doesn't get shot out an air shaft.
That's true. Yeah, I really enjoyed the shot out the air shaft.
Yes.
Absolute favorite line of the night was, "I'm rich. I'm dead." Like,
yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, it was good.
Narrow escape.
Indeed. Just
it's a good catch by Ezra.
Very good catch by Ezra.
Not a time for a brain fart. Keep that force going, son. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Just reeling it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically what Hondo was dealing with was he was going to go sell these crates that it turned out had generators in them, and we previously discussed that the frozen planet, I believe it was called Rin, was... out of power, so basically everybody there was going to die because they wouldn't be able to generate any heat, and so Harrow's approach to it was, okay, well, we'll have to find some generators or something. I'm sure that we can come back from this. And lo and behold, who has all these generators that we need? But Hondo, who is on the ship that Ezra went to.
And I think it was being very charitable with that 500% mark.
Yeah, this
I think
is what
that's
happens
fair.
when you live on Antarctica.
Yeah.
He didn't tell him to live there.
It's true.
Hey, come on. Look, you wanted to live here. Now here's some light.
It's
now give me
supply and
500%. Right.
Yeah, absolutely. And so they go to sell them to Asmorgan, and we have that wonderful line of "I don't deal with washed up old relics," and a really cool fight scene, I have to say.
Yes.
I really enjoyed, particularly when Chopper got a hold of the two guns.
Oh my god.
That was both terrifying and hilarious.
I'm fairly certain that was droid talk for Yippee-Ki-Yay.
That's true, huh? Gotta be. Had a nice Taz quality to him running through there. Shooting everything dies around him. It's good.
Yeah.
As far as we're concerned, that robot is evil and has a body count. Like, that is a going theory on the show. We've been keeping track of his body count. And this is just like, evidence.
He's tried to murder Ezra a couple times.
Are we at 6? Successful?
Cha-cha. Who would have thought
He
that?
did shoot a couple people out of an airlock one time.
He did. I think we're at like 6.
Yeah, they were begging for it.
I think he has the highest body count on the team.
He does. Like, he legitimately does.
So see.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I was going to say not a lot of killing goes on the part of the rebels.
And when it does, it's the droid.
Chopper.
It's usually Chopper.
Yeah.
Not for lack of trying.
No. Yeah. Well, and previously when they first are going down to Asmorgan to, sell him the cargo, Ezra gets a hold of the universal remote, which he gives to Chopper to hold on to, being like, hey, this may come in handy later, which of course it does.
Yeah, but not for them.
Not for them, no. No, it does not come in handy until they discover that
they need it.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Vizago is still there.
Yes, Vizago is in fact still on board his own ship. He did not lose it in a gamble. He has been taken prisoner on his own brig.
Well, he was a dangerous criminal.
Well, yes.
Clearly. Otherwise, Hondo wouldn't have said that.
I mean,
Exactly.
he's not
Hot
wrong.
kettle called.
Yeah.
He's not wrong, though. Vizago's a pretty awful person.
Yeah.
See?
He is.
Again, pot, kettle called, and
Yeah.
Yep. So we find out that Ezra decides that he's going to free Vizago to help him get his own ship back on the under the circumstances that Ezra will get all of the generators, because that's really all that he needs
yeah.
from this whole situation.
And that makes them square. Everybody's happy.
Yeah, exactly.
I get the generators, you guys split the credits, everyone's good, and then everyone just, nah.
No.
Which results in there being another battle, this time on board the ship. And that's when they manage to get the remote back and we regain control of the droids because, as Vizago mentions to Ezra, somehow Hondo got control of his droids.
Who'd have thunk it? It could have happened to anybody.
Really?
You know what I've often thought of? When they have these fights on the ships, I've got to believe that there's some kind of inner thing there, the inner force field or something, Kevlar on the windows, because you can't really sit, like on a 747. You're not going to bust out a Magnum and start shooting.
That is true.
Because you might leave the ship.
Yes.
Suddenly. See? So I got to believe there's got to be some equivalent there.
I feel like there is some sort of energy field or something because even when they opened up the airlock to shoot people out, I mean, under normal circumstances, everything in that room would have been sucked out into the vacuum of space.
So something's up.
Well, and there's also, like, now they have bullets that if they hit a wall, they won't go through. They've engineered them so that they'll go through people, but not through walls. And so I would imagine that they have phasers that are a lot that they have
it's
a
be
setting
that, right?
Yeah.
that they can
Somebody out there, quick. Caller number 1.
Yeah.
Help us out.
Actually, if we could get the live chat up on the monitor,
which brings me to a
might,
good point, which is that the internet and my laptop are not getting along right now. So if we could bring up the live chat on our monitor, that would be great. Maybe somebody in the chat can tweet it at us.
I promise you somebody out there knows this.
We do.
If you know the
have
answer, tweet it at us using
Jasper on
ABTV
Twitter.
Rebels.
Or make up something creative.
Yes.
And
Come
we'll
up.
go with it.
Yes.
We've got Jasper Jackson 28 on Twitter. I've recently started watching Clone Wars, and I'm grateful for it because now I get to see Hondo Ohnaka again.
Yeah.
Well, I'm
He's a
grateful
fan.
for it too. Keep up the good work.
Keep up the good work watching Clone Wars.
Yes, absolutely. Or just watching, period.
Yes.
Or at least watching Hondo.
Yeah, you can just skip the episodes that Hondo's not in.
That's true.
And that'll be totally fine.
I know I do.
It's like that's obviously the
kidding.
important part. Everything else is just gravy.
Yes,
That's true.
absolutely. So they get in the fight on board Vizago's ship, and then ultimately, as I mentioned earlier when I was talking about Hondo's incredible ability to adapt to whatever situation he finds himself in, he winds up on the Phantom and back on the Ghost with the Rebel crew, explaining how wonderful Ezra was. I loved all of the interaction between he and Ezra with the whole team up kind of thing that never exactly happened.
Yeah, like your crazy uncle.
Yeah.
Who shows up and hey, pull my finger.
Yes.
It's
Well, I like that everything that Ezra does essentially earns Hondo's respect.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know. I loved that. That Ezra initially introduced himself to Hondo as being Lando Calrissian,
Yeah,
The
who is
fact that Hondo
semi-famous.
bought-
who is semi-famous.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's tough for Hondo to give props to somebody else.
Yeah, no, definitely.
He's pretty famous, but he's semi-famous,
Yes.
after all.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. And then, of course, when we had the reveal, because as Morgan already knew who Ezra was, that he was not, in fact, Lando Calrissian. and Hondo's reaction of, "You lied to me? I knew I liked you."
Well, that was an ad lib, that's for sure. Yeah.
That wasn't in the script.
No, I don't think so.
I'm starting to feel like a lot of the character of Hondo comes from you just improvising.
Pretty
I'm
much,
starting
yeah.
to feel like there was no script.
Yeah,
Just
well,
like, oh, that's nice.
No,
Yes.
it's okay. I think sometimes people hire me for that, though. You know, because a lot of times, there was one line that, I can't, it's in the next show.
Oh, no!
I was thinking it was in this one. I can't use that as an example. I told you about the chip, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
We wouldn't want your head to explode.
Oh, okay. No,
Make a mess in the studio.
It was twitching to let you know.
I just got a trimmer.
Hard to clean up.
It was a feeling in the force or something. That was my...
Sensed a great disturbance.
Yes,
As the millions of voices cried out in unison and were silenced.
I also really appreciate the fact that we do get this genuine moment from Ezra, because I think at every point every kid wants to be a pirate at some point.
Oh my god,
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
You can be a Jedi pirate. And I'm sitting here going, I was just at the Disneyland Halloween party. I'm fairly certain I saw a few of those.
Yeah,
Around.
I really liked the Jedi pirate comment as well, and I liked Ezra questioning whether or not he had joined Hondo's crew.
Yeah,
He
that's
just
right.
signed up for that.
What did I just do?
happened.
Did I just? Yeah, Yeah, he wasn't joining the Boy Scouts. That's
No,
for sure.
definitely. Well, and it came out of him being kind of fed up with everybody in the Rebel crew on the Ghost. So.
Well, it's kind of like every kid also wants to, at some point just run away and join the circus. Hondo's the circus.
Yeah.
He's the
He
circus.
is.
In fact, he used to have a circus.
He did,
Visit him,
yeah.
he
He did have a circus
with
come
other
visit him.
younglings.
Yep.
Gosh, it's coming back to me. I had I drank a lot of whatever he drank that night, so it's hard to remember exactly. But I seem to remember flying through the air and thinking it was a great show at the end of it.
Yes,
The most expensive thing in the galaxy.
Yeah, I was going to say
worry
I was also glad to see that that Hondo has not given up his taste for spirits, if
There
you
we
will.
go.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And something for my friend.
Yes.
Yeah, I got to believe that somewhere in his own backyard there are a lot of coffee cans or whatever passes for coffee cans with shekels or doubloons or something in them buried in there. Well, he's going to do fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep. And I mean, as we mentioned, he made off with all the credits.
He did.
Exactly.
So
He literally
celebrate.
waltzed out with them. Just see you guys.
And
Peace. I'm
thanked
out.
them, and they were glad to see him.
Yep.
I'm sorry, where are the credits? where did those go?
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of surprised that he didn't walk out with the credits and the generators too.
I
I was
seriously,
surprised
yeah.
that Ezra didn't lift a few credits as he left.
If they
Yeah.
were smaller, he would have.
Yeah, fair enough.
If he had the Force.
That is true. Yeah, he just didn't have space for him anymore,
True.
My pockets are only so big.
Yeah, he doesn't have hammer space in his pockets.
Does he not have a ship now either? Because
That's what I was wondering. Because I was gonna say
Yeah.
Vizago ended up getting his ship back. The crew of the Ghost ended up getting all of the generators, which is really all they wanted, and Hondo ended up with the credits. But how did he get off the ship?
So where did he go?
Yeah.
When he walked out that door,
I know.
away from that fake campfire
Well,
that
they
we were
were
talking about
parked
to the
earlier.
somewhere.
nearest
weren't they?
dealership,
Gotta
right?
go somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
had a cash offer.
A
Yeah.
dealership. Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe. Well, the ship had been parked on a planet.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the episode, so I guess he just walked off into the sunset.
Well, just probably that was good because it gave him a planet to take over.
Yeah.
And by morning he'll have all his problems will be solved,
Exactly.
and someone else's will have begun.
Many someone else's.
It does make me feel like he stowed away on Vizago's ship and hid and then
Yeah.
attacked him.
Oh
when
my
his
God,
back
yes.
was
Yeah,
turned.
I feel like that's absolutely what happened, and so it's only a matter of time until he finds somebody else.
That's right.
Now we have the live chat up. Brandon Christopher says, "Wow, the legend himself," and wants to know, did you record the episode solo, or were with the rest of the cast when you were recording?
Oh, it's great. That's one of the things I like about doing Clone Wars Rebels. They're all there.
Yeah.
Most of them. Most
Yeah.
of them are there. Yeah, and it's so much better because you get that interaction. With
absolutely.
Freddie and Taylor, Vanessa. It's much better that way. And plus, if they're kind of coming up with something, they've got an energy going. We're playing ping pong, and I'll say something, they'll say something, and hopefully nobody breaks up and starts laughing and ruin the take. And it's just I hate that word organic, but it is kind of organic. And, it just feels good. It feels like a natural interplay between the characters. It's not, actors in there. It's those guys talking to each other.
Yeah. And also I think provides you with more opportunity for the improvisation that we've talked about quite a lot in this episode.
Yeah. And it's great. Dave Filoni, he really knows what he knows, and they all do. I mean, the writers, Henry Gilroy and the different guys, they're just amazing. And they'll go through, they'll talk out the scene. You show you there, you've got the storyboards. Here's what your guy looks like now. Oh my gosh, we do the tusk thing. And we go through it about 2 or 3 times, and it's always a little different. And that's why when we were watching it, I was sitting there going, gosh, I wonder if that's going to stay in. I wonder if that's going to stay in. And a lot of them do. A lot of them stay in. So it's, that's kind of rewarding for me sometimes. It makes me, okay, good. Well, that, I wasn't out of my mind with when I to read it out. God only knows what I said. But it worked. So yes. Hello, Aunt, whoever that is.
So when you improvise, is that the first time you do the take or the last take when you're getting tired of the scene, or is that every single time it's different?
Yeah, it's every single time.
Is there footage of these table reads?
New choice.
No, we don't even do table reads. We just go
throw you right
in
the booth.
Yeah.
Is there footage of these?
No. A lot of people think that, but no, it's almost never. I mean, you could do ADR, but that's after the fact, and the lip flap was off, or they changed something, or something didn't work, and a lot of people think you're sitting around and it's all a finished product, and we're going like this to a picture, and no, you can't do that.
No,
because that wouldn't work.
Yeah. Especially with Western animation, it's almost all
dubbing an anime.
Yeah, exactly. That's the difference right there.
Yes.
Yeah. And it takes so long to produce an animated show.
It does.
I'm sure you.
Yeah, we did this in '74.
Oh wow!
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's aged
takes a while. A lot of Crayolas.
It's aged very well.
A lot of Crayolas. So.
I was wondering. I know Clone Wars was quite some time ago, but when coming up with the voice for Hondo, did they just kind of give you a basic character and go, what do you think a space pirate would sound like?
Yeah, well, it's always fairly similar situation each time. You're going to see what he looks like, and that's the first thing. And then you kind of work with the director and the voice director and the writers, and this guy, first of all, he's not going to sound like this
right.
whatever this guy, whoever I am. And I will confess now that Hondo Ohnaka is my really bad Yul Brynner, because I have a concept that if you do a perfect impression of somebody that nobody knows, it's a new character.
Yeah.
And if you do a horrible impression of someone that everybody knows, it's a new character. Well, I'm just glad that no one's gonna. Oh crap!
It's not like this is on the internet.
Yeah,
exactly.
This is streaming live.
It's at this point he's no longer that. But I just remember thinking I'd do a really terrible Yul Brynner, but he had that kind of King of Siam where everything was gonna. No, don't worry, I'm incredible.
Oh yeah,
just ask me.
That is a very very good parallel.
And Hondo's that way too, but he's not necessarily a paper tiger, but
no.
But yeah, so that's where he came from.
Yeah.
I've never told that to anyone before.
And now you've told it to everyone.
AfterBuzz TV exclusive.
Yes, exactly.
When you were revisiting Hondo for Rebels after Clone Wars, did you make any choices to try to age him and make him a little more of a kooky old uncle?
Yeah, I think he's a little sandier.
Yeah.
Because we talked about it, and Dave Filoni, we were trying to figure it out, and we're going, because you're doing the math, you're going, okay, now when Luke was getting ready to go, he said, well, I want to go to Hachi to get some power converters.
Yeah.
And then, Obi-Wan, gee, you must have known my dad in the Clone Wars.
Right.
Sorry, Mark, sorry. Shut up, you're rich. Anyway, so it was okay. And you're kind of doing the math. So, okay, now how old was Luke? So, okay, now how old was Obi-Wan? So, Clone Wars, because back then he was still Anakin, he wasn't Vader. Maybe 25, 30 years.
Carry the one.
Yeah, we're trying to figure. And then, so how old was he the first time we met him? Well, he aged 5 years at least because he was in like 5 seasons. So maybe he's in his 70s.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, he's getting up there.
Well, the tusks. It's just count the tusks. How far out are they? I don't know. Maybe it's like a tree. I don't know.
Count the rings.
Yeah.
But he's not a kid anymore. So he was a little more. He had
a little rougher.
Little sand in there.
Yeah.
Just I don't know.
Yeah.
Now people are going to be going, okay, let's see. In episode 5, he sounded like this. I don't know. That sounds more like 72.
We're going to get an actual age at some point on Twitter or in the comments. Because people know their stuff to a terrifying degree when it comes to Star Wars.
Who knows how long they live? Maybe he's part tortoise.
Yeah, who knows?
Could be.
I don't think that's totally unbelievable.
That's right. No.
By the time he hits 300, he's just...
Yeah, and he hasn't been moisturizing, obviously. That's for sure. So,
looking for a nice beach planet to just go and retire on.
Yeah.
Right.
Eventually, he'll just be the face of Bo.
Yeah, he doesn't have to worry about sunburn or anything like that, clearly. So.
Yeah, but he loves the game. He loves the game.
That's true.
It's the game. He's a player.
Yeah.
That's right.
I feel like he's never going to retire.
No, he'd be too bored, probably.
Yeah, it will be forcible retirement.
Absolutely.
Well, if he does, he's going to kick ass in that nursing home. Okay? He will own every walker. Anybody who uses a walker, he gets a VIG.
I think you misunderstood what I meant by forcible retirement.
I misunderstand everything.
Yes. Now, when you started working on Clone Wars, were you already a fan of the Star Wars franchise?
No, I'd never heard of it. Pretty much, yeah. What are you going to do? I don't know how you're not.
Yeah, it's pretty unavoidable.
It's like, I remember when I was a kid, the first thing came out, I went, holy crap, this is a good one. Let's go see this, and it was just, my head, just the same as everybody else.
Yeah.
I'm just glad to be like a miniature teeny cog in the whole universe of Star Wars, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's like, cool.
Living the dream.
Like a big kid,
Yeah, you can say that you're part of it.
Just a little part in there, and it's, okay, good. I'm a comma somewhere in the, whatever.
Well, because Rebels is so vastly different from Clone Wars, was there any kind of trepidation in terms of bringing this character back? Is he going to fit into this new show that we have?
No, I can't believe he doesn't have his own show. Heck with trepidation. No. That's one thing Hondo and I have in common. We don't trep. We don't
I would watch that TV program.
Yeah.
No, I would watch. Yeah, no, I would watch a show about space pirates. That'd be fun.
Oh, hell yes! Hey, come on, a pirate Jedi?
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, that would be a good spin-off show.
Yeah.
I mean, Kanan's already a Jedi cowboy guy.
That is true.
He is.
Yeah, he's definitely a Jedi cowboy.
Yeah. Freddy's a bad man. And, Vanessa has that fabulous hair.
She does have great hair.
She really does.
She has really great hair.
My God.
She does. 2 of them.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I think that Hondo fit incredibly well into the Rebels universe, particularly since, as we were talking about, he's kind of aged into more of a wacky uncle type figure.
An eccentric.
1 foot in reality.
An eccentric, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, well, he knows what he knows. He sees all the con jobs coming and then turns them around. He's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to surprise him.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And he can walk into a volcano and make friends with the lava. So it's okay.
He does always seem to be looking for friends. New friends all the time.
Well, he can't keep them very often. He seems to be a turn and burn kind of guy.
Well, they present opportunities. Sort of.
Yeah.
With friends like these.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah, but you don't hate him in the end, so it's okay.
Oh, we have an answer about the lifespan of the Weequay. It's apparently up to 90 standard years. There you go.
What's that? That's how that would be his age?
That's
the Weequay.
The Weequay. That's as long as he would live. Yeah. Yep.
On average.
Oh, well, we got plenty of time, man.
Another decade and a half.
I was going to say,
I
was going to say, if he's only 70, he's got a good 20 years left on him.
Well, plus he's he's going to outlive the average Weequay.
Well, because of anything, he's not average.
That's exactly right.
He's spry.
I feel like he's going to outlive everybody on the show.
Yes.
And who's that from? Scott G?
Scott G.
Scott G.
Yes.
Scott G. You
Thank
are
you,
dos
Scott.
mucho.
I'd like to say thank you to Oscar Herrera for continuing to harp on the train that I am continually driving.
No. Boo.
Yep. I am the person who thinks that they brought Ahsoka back to kill her.
I mean,
I am that human being, and I am driving that train, and I will continue to drive that train until the series convinces me otherwise.
Bring Ahsoka back to kill her?
Yes, because they brought her in, and a lot of this was from last season, from Dylan getting really excited. They're going to bring Ahsoka, and I'm like, if they bring her back, she's going to die. Because that's how closure works here. She's going to die.
Yeah.
And now she's back, and I'm sitting here going, all right, I am counting episodes. I love you, you're wonderful, but...
Because a lot of people using our Twitter hashtag have, been talking about Ahsoka and how they really want her to meet, some of the main, original trilogy Star Wars people. Because at this point, Ahsoka is a major character who's interacted with every major character from the prequels, yet has never actually appeared in any of the films.
Yeah.
Any of the, the live action, big blockbuster kind of films.
Hence my theory.
Yeah.
In much the same way as, okay, we're done with episode 2, and here's episode 4, which means if you're not in episode 4, you probably died in episode 3. So you go into episode 3, and holy cow, that is a lot of dead people.
Yeah.
Gee.
No.
Somebody's been thinking about this.
I know my tropes.
That's true. Yes, you do.
Well, we have a lot of people who are really rooting for Princess Leia in particular to come onto the show because right now she and Luke are both right around Ezra's age.
Yeah, that is true.
Oh my God, sign me up.
Yeah, they're about of an age with Ezra. Oh, I would love. Well, and we've already seen, her adoptive father.
Yeah.
So
Bail Organa.
Bail Organa. I was totally drawing a blank. So I don't think it. Thank you, Katie. Yeah. Someone in the chat would have helped me out if none of us could have come up with
it. The chat has a delay. It would have been 3 minutes. I love you, chat.
But yeah, I mean, it would not be unreasonable to imagine that she could turn up.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yes,
just hoping.
So let's see.
Oh wow! Now I love Tara Dust for your aunt saying, "I want to bring clone. I want to see the Clone Wars younglings all grown up." I was going to
say. So this is in reference to the younglings that joined the circus that were visiting Hondo. Yeah.
And Tara Dustbringer saying they may be Inquisitors or dead. I like you. I like you.
Dark.
Maybe
Super
Inquisitors
dark.
are dead. Or what if maybe Kanan changed his name?
Oh.
And back then he was,
There's actually a prequel comic that goes through Kanan's backstory.
Oh,
his name was Kanan.
Yeah.
Yes.
I used to live off Kanan Road.
Really?
Yeah.
That's basically
really
the same
boring.
thing, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
I don't know why I said that.
Anytime I drive up the 101, I always kind of chuckle to myself.
Oh, at Canyon Dune, yeah. Yeah, that canyon that you can take over to Malibu.
There you go.
Los Angeles.
Regional humor.
But,
exactly.
And Oscar Herrera, speaking to Katie's theory, says maybe Ahsoka will die by the Emperor's hand to teach Vader a lesson and make him go deeper to the dark side.
That's upsetting.
I like you.
Upsetting.
I like you.
Katie likes everybody who has terrible predictions for the future. And while we're on that note, why don't we dive into some predictions?
See, that's why you keep me.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV prediction.
I like the laser light show.
I know.
I
really
adore
good.
the light
really
show
good.
so much.
Well, we know that Hondo's coming back, even though we can't talk about it due to the chip in your head. We would not want to.
But trust me, he's coming back.
Cause any unsightly deaths while we're on air here.
That would be a bummer.
Yeah, but you get a lot of hits.
Yeah, probably. That's true.
Jim Cummings' head explodes.
Right, it wouldn't just be
Real
Katie's
life enactment of Spanish.
Yeah, it wouldn't just be Katie's morbid theories about how Ahsoka's going to bite the bullet before the series is done.
It would be actual morbidity.
Yes, that is true.
No. It's always tough when they actually don't show the promo for the next episode.
I know.
Because then it's like, okay, well, where are we going from here?
Yeah.
Because we have Hondo walking off into the sunset. We have no idea what's going on with the Inquisitors. We have no idea where our crew is heading next because Lothal is off the table. So I'm going to go with, now that we've had a kind of breather episode to like have some fun, we're going to start diving back into the Inquisitors and everything like that.
I think we're going to have a rivalry between our Inquisitors because they were working together, but they didn't seem super happy about it. And we've heard that there's a pretty nice job opening now that the Grand Inquisitor is no longer appearing in this series.
Yeah.
So I think that we're going to have some rivalry, and I think that it's going to work against them.
Yeah.
Our teamwork, guys.
Yeah.
Our teamwork.
Well, there is a slim chance that Hondo may come back and kick it with Ezra. I don't know. Slim.
Mm-hmm.
Could be.
Maybe. We'll see.
Right? Chip in my head? Yeah,
I think
slim.
it would be a lot of fun for Hondo to actually meet Lando Calrissian, the real Lando Calrissian.
Oh, man.
He's semi-famous.
It is true.
Semi-famous.
Yeah, I would love for him to meet the actual Lando Calrissian, and I would like for he and Ahsoka to cross paths again, since they did
So would he.
previously team up. So
would Hondo.
So would have to chat. They were talking about it earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so I think that's about it for predictions. We did get a very nice email from Jaden speaking to the theory that we brought up a couple episodes ago, where certain fans are theorizing that Kylo Ren in the upcoming Force Awakens could potentially be Ezra, basically saying that they think that the age kind of checks out. I still don't think that's going to be the case, only because I feel like the movies are not going to lean on the fact that people are watching the shows. You know, it's kind of like, I feel like in Rebels,
that's true.
I feel like in Rebels they bring in just enough Clone Wars to sort of cater to the really loyal Clone Wars fans.
But like, I haven't seen Clone Wars, and I'm
and you're not
along
confused.
just fine.
Exactly.
Plus, if they have something in the movie that has to do with Rebels, it's going to be massive spoilers for Rebels.
That's true, and you know, this is already confirmed to be a much longer season than the last time around. So I'm pretty sure with 22 episodes, this season's not going to be done by the time the movie comes out in December.
No.
So
not unless we get some awesome marathon.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like Star Wars Rebels weekend, just 6 episodes released at once. So I don't think that's going to be the case. But they also talked a little bit about the theory that we brought up before about Barriss potentially being the seventh sister, and agreeing with us that they didn't think that it was necessarily her, but it could certainly be, who knows, maybe, as we touched upon, it could be one of the younglings that we saw in Clone Wars before.
Maybe.
So thank you very much, Jaden, for your email, and thanks for saying nice things about us. Jaden says, I'm not sure, Jaden, if you are a girl or a boy, so feel free to correct me. I have known both boys and girls named Jaden, and basically praises us, saying, I just love watching people who are truly passionate about the show and listen to their thoughts and stuff. So keep it up.
Thank you.
Aw, that's so sweet. Thank you guys.
Thank you. We are passionate about the show, and we love to hear from you guys. So before
and stuff.
Especially stuff.
And things.
Stuff is the best. I just love stuff. So before we wrap things up, any additional questions for Jim, you ladies?
I do want to know, what was your reaction when they initially told you that they were planning on bringing Hondo back?
Oh, I was tickled pink because we were kind of like, it's like, oh, we're no Clone Warriors allowed, and it's like, oh man, and then they thought, well, maybe we'll just get Hondo back.
Yeah.
One show, and I said things like, okay. So that was my reaction. Yeah, I just loved it because it was really getting going there at the end of Clone Wars, and we were talking, I've been going to a few cons here and there, and you can always tell something's happening if people start showing up and doing cosplay as your guy.
Yeah.
So, I've seen little squat Hondos that were like, and it was really cool. It was really flattering. So I thought, wow, that's great. I wish he would come back, and it's great because now they're going to have to come up with a whole new cosplay with more tusks.
More tusks, yeah.
More tusks. So yeah,
if we've learned anything tonight, it's more tusks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cowbell.
Yeah, he's going to go in for a manicure or something. I think one of these days it'll be fine. Yes, indeed. He's lost weight, though. Can you tell? I mean, he's a little gaunt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm worried about him. I don't know if he's eating very well.
Yeah, well, the Empire. I'll tell you.
It gets tough out there in the Outer Rim.
Don't
act like you know.
They take his drugs.
Good Lord. Are there
food.
any upcoming projects you're doing that the chip in your head will let you tell us about?
Yes, a couple more of the world-famous Star Wars Rebels.
Yes.
Apparently coming to a TV near you.
Mm-hmm.
So
all right.
Stay tuned. Yeah, and just a lot of nice things. Movie called Get Squirrely, and another one called Charming, and it's great because I'm going to be doing. I'm so happy. This will be my third movie that I did with John Cleese.
Oh, nice!
My close personal friend, who I think I bumped into once. But anyway, he's so that's kind of nice. And let's see. Gosh, I never can remember things. Well, Sophia the First. Speaking of Disney Channel, and I think everything's Disney now. We were talking the other day. So there's Marvel. There's George. Look at the Muppets. I'm sure they own that. They probably look, property of what a surprise.
Mouse ears on there.
So like I was saying,
When did that happen?
Yeah, see, but a lot of nice things, and I'm doing some transforming these days.
Oh yes, you are doing some transforming these days.
Yeah, I was way back when I very first started. I was Ripper Snapper and Afterburner, and I thought that was great. And then that stopped, and I went, "Oh man! Well, at least I got the toys out of it." And now I'm back as Clampdown and
Robots
Thermidor.
in Disguise.
Robots in Disguise.
Yeah, we all did the after show for Robots in Disguise.
We all did. Clampdown was beautiful.
We are familiar with your work.
Yes. Well, thank you.
And I have to ask, just because you've had these with you all night, are these drumsticks or
these are drumsticks? These are for the boring part, like when other people have lines.
Oh, I got you.
See the boring part.
Yeah.
And they're not as annoying as drumsticks, but they're not as quiet as jazz brushes. So it's like you play them on your knee and you just sit there. Jim, I can hear that. Oh right, crap, sorry. And then it's just something to do with my hands. I'm a drummer. Been playing drums for a long time.
Do you have any upcoming drum performances?
I don't. No, but I have a lot of upcoming drums.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes.
And you're headed to a con this weekend, correct?
I am. Rhode Island Comic-Con. Be there. Come and say things like, hello. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Things like hello.
Yeah. Right. So, yeah.
Maybe hi.
Providence, Rhode Island.
Providence, Rhode Island. Are there any other towns in Rhode Island?
Not that I know of. I know it's a small place. I think the con is Rhode Island.
Yeah.
They just put up a tent and
and it's just over the whole state of Rhode Island.
Something like that.
There you go. Instant convention center.
I'm game.
Well, wonderful. So, Jim, if people aren't going to be in Rhode Island this weekend and they can't come see you in person, where can they find you on the internet?
Well, let's see. I am at Jim Cummings Acme. I think we're supposed to say things like that. And I guess I have a Facebook page, but who cares? I don't. I'm part Amish.
I see.
My daughter Raleigh's here, and she'll attest to that. So what can I tell you? But I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad you guys aren't Amish.
Oh,
Thank you.
We're very glad that you joined us today. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for inviting me out to play.
Yeah, of course. Anytime.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
Megan, what about you?
You guys can. I am the farthest thing from Amish. You guys can follow me on Twitter at @themenguin. That's TheMenguin. Also on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz, and I also write articles for the Movie Chick. That's Chick with 2 Ks. Be sure to check those out.
I'm Katie Cullen. You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, and Instagram at Kiaxet. That's Kiaxet. I am also on Snapchat at Kia Prime. I am on so many shows. Arrow later tonight. Ruby and Steven Universe are both back tomorrow.
Yay!
And Z Nation on Sundays.
I forgot that if you can't find me at Jim Cummings Acme, you can look on Lady Bits, Virginiuses on YouTube. You might be able to find me there.
I see.
No, I'm only serious. Lady Bits on YouTube, Virginiuses, and you'll feel the difference.
I will have to look that
You'll
up.
just have to look it up and you'll thank me later. And you will. You really will.
Well, I need to update my virus software before I go
Please do. No, you're in for a very, very, very pleasant surprise.
And I'm Emma Fyffe. You can follow me all over social media at Emma Fyffe. That's my name. EMMAFYFFE. That's all F's. as in Fred, no S's as in snake. If you're listening to this recorded, F and S tend to sound the same on the phone or when they're recorded. You can find me on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzzTV.com. Follow me on Twitter. I tweet about all of them. I'm totally addicted to Twitter. Yeah, that's me, guys. Emma Fyffe. Just follow me everywhere Emma Fyffes are sold.
The opposite of Amish.
Thank you so much to everybody for tuning in tonight. Be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes and YouTube, and check out all the other shows we do here at AfterBuzzTV.com, and come back here again, back at our regular time next week, 8:30, for another episode of the Star Wars Rebels After Show.
Yeah, and apologize to any Amish people. Oh, wait, they're not watching. See, it's an
But-um-tish.
But-um-bump. See, thank God I had these. Thank you.
And on that note,
bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.